Hello there, thank you for tuning in. This is the Carroll Holman Insurance Brokers UK Construction webinar. My name's Greg Dignan and I'm a Divisional Director of the firm, acting in the broking and underwriting divisions for non-motor business. We're obviously going to talk about construction today, and we are going to cover the following items. Firstly, we're going to cover construction statistics for 2017, then health and safety statistics for 2018. Then we'll summarise that, and then we can go on and talk about the information we're actually looking for to help you, give you an idea of what our facility can cover, and give you an idea of how you can then contact us after this for any other questions that you have following the webinar. Okay, so as we move on to the construction statistics for 2017, we are going to look at the first illustration. So what this actually covers here is the new orders for the construction industry, and this actually does also represent an increase of 7.4% on the 2016 figure. So it gives you an idea that there is more construction work being done, more clients for you to look at, or bigger wages, bigger turnover. So there's definitely opportunities out there for retail execs in this sector. The new housing orders increased beyond the 2006 downturn for the first time in 2017 too. So you can see from the graph it's actually going up and up. And then this 2017 did go over the 2006 threshold too. The second illustration of these slides actually breaks down the new orders between public and private sector work. And again, year-on-year growth since 2012, and the total reached more than 109,000 million, the highest since records began. So as we continue with the stats, obviously with growth comes more insolvencies. Some brokers credit check their clients before they go and see them and things like that. That can actually be really useful information for us, so that when we're discussing with underwriters or looking at the risks under binders, under the underwriting teams, if we know that they're in a good position and people's jobs are safe, people tend to work in a stronger environment. So that's always useful information if you can provide that. The image on the left shows construction to have the second highest amount of insolvencies as a class in the UK. Only sort of companies like ourselves, effectively insurance companies, other administration and support, are only worse than the construction industry. And the image on the right breaks down construction trades that went insolvent. So again, you can see from here that specialist construction represents things like electrical and plumbing type trades. That made up 62%. Elsewhere, 32% was made up by house building trades. And then the specialist civil engineering type trades made up of only 6% insolvency. So you can see there a clear difference between your general contracting risks and the specialists, how they perform better from an insolvency point of view, which is also something to bear in mind. So the last slide we're going to look at in terms of statistics is the concentration of where people are employed throughout Great Britain. At this point I just need to quickly point out the Office of National Statistics doesn't actually provide the stats for Northern Ireland, so obviously that's why that's missing there, but we do welcome business from Northern Ireland. So the averages, if we glance at that quickly, the Great Britain average is 9%. Obviously, where the country is highly populated in the southeast, there is going to be the greater concentration of work there. But you can see, the rest all the way down really to Wales and the northeast hovers not a million miles away from the Great British average there. So plenty of business to go and see and sub back into us to assist you with. And then on something else that I picked up on whilst I was doing this research, that employment was up throughout the whole of Great Britain. The only area that did suffer a negative in that period was the Yorkshire and Humber area, which completely shocked me because we do see a bit of business from that area. So generally, I think you can look at it from an employment point of view that the construction industry is doing quite well. So we now move on to the health and safety part of this presentation, and these stats have been provided by the HSE website, so easily accessible to yourselves if you wanted to go back and have another look, and you can see from underneath where they've got their sources too. Just a couple of things I will point out, because there's a couple of interesting numbers on there. And whilst it looks bad on here, as we'll move on with another slide, they're actually getting better, the stats. So 12,000 deaths estimated to sort of long-term lung disease type exposures there, and then 144 fatalities. And then there's obviously a lot of lost work days there too. So you've got 30.7 million days lost to non-fatal workplace injuries and ill health during that 17-18 period. So it is costing insurers lots of money with this and claims. This is why we want to highlight these things, because health and safety has been around for a long time now. We've got to look beyond the tick boxes and give more details about the culture of health and safety with the businesses that you're looking at when you go to see them. Try and get deeper into the culture of how that company's going about it. So this next slide, we're going to look at the breakdown for different industries. Obviously, concentrating specifically on construction, we can see that statistically it is significantly higher when compared with other industries. Looking at the ill health and non-fatal injury exposures, you can also see though that workplace injury and those non-fatal injuries are reducing, as I said on the previous slide, and it's almost halved since 2000 and 2001 period. So lots of progress being made since the HSE came in and changed the laws governing how we're all treated with health and safety in the workplace. Slips, trips and falls are the most common injury, but in terms of fatalities it has flatlined since the 2012 to 13 period. So lots of work still to be done, but positively, as I say, statistically getting better. Despite as an industry, which it would do because it's a lot heavier work, statistically it is a lot heavier than most. So we just need to pay caution and obviously keep concentrating on the actual culture of how health and safety is being managed within the construction workplace. So just to summarise all of this information that we've just been over, I think we can be positive that incidents are on a downward trend at the moment, but as brokers we can't be complacent because construction is a high risk area. Incidents are going to happen no matter how good the health and safety is, but it's all about, from an insurance point of view, how we can help the client with their claim experience and defending actions that may be a bit more spurious than others, and having that culture where the paperwork is all correct. Obviously we can sit here and help them, and in the long term, with their claim stats looking better, those are the ones that are going to have better deals through a harder market. It's very clear health and safety is here, and the construction companies have their health and safety. They are legally obliged to have it. But for underwriters to make an actual informed decision on how good a risk is with it, we're going to need to know exactly how this is demonstrated. So to demonstrate that, can we have information where it actually says how the health and safety is actually communicated to staff? What risk assessments are undertaken? What training is in place for staff? And is that training recorded? What PPE is given out and is that signed for? There's a lot of people out there with policies now where there are PPE conditions where it does say that staff should be signing for PPE. So we've got to make sure that's being enforced. Do they have, again, another great point is that do they actually have any supervisors on site ensuring the health and safety is adhered to? It is that demonstrates the culture to underwriters that it's having a positive influence, and then that way we can go and get the best deal we possibly can. So now it's time to tell you about our new facility for the construction industry. We can give you 10 million EL, 10 million PL products pollution cover. Obviously in respect of the pollution, that's going to be sudden and accidental only. We can add on CAR and plant The contract works limit is 2.5, but more on referral. All construction trades considered. We can consider hazardous location works. We can add PI, asbestos, financial loss extensions. The capacity is AA minus rated in the UK at the moment. It doesn't get much better than that. And where we've obviously been talking about the stats and the health and safety, again, where this is clearly demonstrated, we can be extremely competitive. And we're also empowered to underwrite risks with claims too. And then finally, but we can do non-contracting trades too, where it makes sense to do so. So if you've now got any questions at all, feel free to contact me. My direct dial's there up on the screen, 0207 645 4607, or email greg.dignan@carrollholman.co.uk. I'm easily accessible, so even if I'm not available at that time, I'll call back fairly sharply. And then if you need any more information on Carroll Holman, our website, it gives you all the details of who works here, the different areas where we conduct business, and that website's www.carrollholman.co.uk. Thanks for your time.